Good morning, students. Today we are on the topic of applications of integration. We will make use of the techniques that we learn in integration to apply to sums that is asking us to determine the area and the volume. Now, let's start off with part A. This is part A and this is part B. Now let me just write it down over here. Now, you are asked to show that the shaded area is given by this expression, where A is to be determined. Now, there are two parts of the shaded area. That one part is shaded in orange, the other part is shaded in pink. Now, you are supposed to show that the sum of these two areas equals to this expression. Now what we can do is we can find the sum of this trapezium, all right, then minus off this white portion here. That will give you the sum of the shaded area. Now how to find the area of the trapezium? I can use my formula half the sum of parallel sides times height, or in this case I will just use area of this triangle plus the area of this rectangle. So let us name our figure. So maybe I call this O, A, B, C, D. Now area of triangle, let us find the area of triangle first. So area of triangle OAD. Now area of triangle is given by half base times height. So half, the base is 3/4 and the height is 3/2. And that will give you 9 out of 60 units square. Now how about the area of the rectangle? Area of the rectangle ABCD. Area of rectangle is given by base times height. So this, or length times breadth, alright. So this is 3/2. So what is this length here? This length is given by 2/√3 minus 3/4. Now these two and these two can cancel, is 3/√3. 3/√3 is √3. So you have √3. This times this, you have minus 9/8 units square. Now, next, we want to find the area of the unshaded part. Okay. Maybe I name this E as well. I name this E. Now, so area of E, B, C, D. E, B, C, D. Now, this is not a shape that we have a standard formula to it. So what we do is we need to use integration. Now, let's divide this area into strip, one small strip. What is the area of this strip? Now, this is dx, all right, this part is dx. So it's given by y dx. This height is y times dx. Now imagine that this is so small, all right? This will almost be a rectangle, all right? So the area of one strip is y times dx. But you want the area from 1/3 to, or 1 over 3 to, or 1 over root 3 to 2 over root 3. So you need to do an integration from 1 over root 3 to 2 over root 3. Now what is y? Y is given by this expression. Alright, so you have integrate from 1 over root 3 to 2 over root 3. Now you substitute this expression for y. So you have 3x squared minus 1 over x squared dx. So what is the shaded area? Now shaded area will be this plus this minus this. Okay? Now therefore shaded area. Now let's call this 1, call this 2, and we call this 3. Will be equals to 1 plus 2 minus 3. Now this plus this, what will you get? Now this is minus, this part is minus 18 over 16. So you use 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2, what will you get? You will get root 3 minus 9 over 16 and minus this expression. This is 3x squared minus 1 over x squared dx. Now, so what is A? Now you compare. Therefore, now you have shown, all right? They ask you to show that the area is given by this. So this part is A. All right? So therefore, A is equals to root 3 minus 9 over 60. Now let me erase part of this whiteboard, and then we shall carry on to show that by using x equals to secant theta over 3, you're supposed to find r. Alright, but due to space constraint, let me erase part of it. Now, we are supposed to use x equals to secant theta over root 3 to find the exact value of the shaded area. Now, the shaded area is given by this. So they say exact value. So that means we cannot use the GC. Otherwise, you can just punch this into the GC. But if you use the GC, it won't give you the exact value. So we have no choice. Now, the substitution is very clearly is to ask you to find the value of this. Now, let me just ignore the limits first, all right? So I think it's easier to do it this way, but you can also do it with the limits. But I prefer not to do with the limits first. Then later I will continue by using the limits. Now maybe I use a different color. Okay. Now so I'm supposed to find expression for this. Now, so if I let x be equals to secant theta over root 3, all right, as what the question have asked us to do. So we find dx by d theta. Differentiate of secant theta is secant theta tangent theta. Okay, so you have over root 3 here. Now, so dx will be equals to secant theta tangent theta over root 3 times d theta. Now let's see what, next we substitute x equals to secant theta over root 3 into this expression, all right, and see what will we get from there. So you have, let's see what will we get. So you have 3. Now you substitute in, you will have secant square theta over 3 minus 1 over, you square of this, you have secant square theta over 3. Now the numerator can be reduced to secant squared theta minus 1. Secant squared theta minus 1 is tangent squared theta. So if you do a square root, you are left with tangent theta for the numerator. Now the denominator, you are left with secant theta over root 3. All right, then you can bring the 3 up. So what do you have? You have root 3 times tangent theta over secant theta. Now, so what does this expression become? So you have square root of 3x squared minus 1 over x squared dx will then be integrate root 3 tangent theta over secant theta. Now dx is this, so we have to substitute dx in terms of this. So you multiply by secant theta tangent theta over root 3 d theta. Now root 3 and root 3 cancel, secant theta and secant theta cancel. So we are left with tangent squared theta d theta. Now, but tangent squared theta can be expressed as 1 or secant squared theta minus 1. Integrate secant squared theta, you get tangent theta. So you have tangent theta minus theta plus c. Alright, so next, we haven't substituted the limits into it yet. Okay, now when x equals to 2 root 3, you'll find that 2 over root 3 is equals to secant theta over root 3. So these two cancel. Secant theta is 1 over cos. So you will get cos theta is equals to half. And theta equals to pi over 3. Now let's work out what is the value of theta when x is 1 over root 3. So when x is equals to 1 over root 3, you have 1 over root 3 equals to secant theta over root 3. Then this and this cancel. You have cos theta equals to 1. That means your theta is equals to 0. Now, we are supposed to find the shaded area. That is this expression. Now, this of course can be written as root 3 minus 9 over 16. Now, when you integrate this, you get this part over here. So, it will be theta, tangent theta minus theta. But now you must put the limits inside. Alright, so it's from pi 0 to pi over 3. So you got root 3 minus 9 over 16 minus, what is tangent pi over 3? Tangent pi over 3 is root 3 minus pi over 3. Now these two will cancel out each other, the root 3. And then this negative become positive. So you have pi over 3 minus 9 over 16. Now that is your answer to part A of the question. Now due to space constraint, now I need to erase this portion, and so that we have space to do part 2. Please continue watching our video. We have come to the last part of the question. Now in this part, we are asked to find the volume generated when R is the shaded area over here, when it is rotated about 2 pi, about the x-axis, and you are asked to correct it to 3 significant figures. Now this region R is rotated about the x-axis, 2 pi about the x-axis. So how are we going to find this volume? Now first we do a reflection of the graph, alright? Then I will try to draw it in the form of 3D so you can see the shape. Now, how to find this volume? Now if this portion, this triangle is rotated about the x-axis, you will get a cone, and this forms the base of the cone. Okay, I hope you can see it. Now, and when this triangle, rectangle, when it's rotated about the x-axis, you get a cylinder. Okay, now I'm drawing the base of the cylinder. So you use the cylinder plus the cone, alright? Then what you need to do is you need to subtract the volume generated. There's a dome, alright? This C-shaped thing here, when this part is being rotated 2 pi, you will generate a dome, alright? Now let's find the volume of the cone. The volume of the cone is given by 1/3 pi r square h. Oh, I have erased the reading here as well. Now let me just write it down again. Now this one is 1 over root 3, this point. This point here is 3 over 4. 3 over 4. And this point here is 2 over root 3. So the volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r square h. Now this is the radius. So you got 1/3 pi 3 over 2 square Now what is the height? The height is 3/4. Okay. So if you expand this, you got 9 pi over 4460. Okay. Now next, let us find the volume of the cylinder. Now what is the formula for volume of cylinder? Is pi r square h. Now what is the radius? This is the radius. So 3/2 squared. Now what is the height? This part is the height. Alright, this length is this part is the height. So it's 2/3 minus 3 out of 4. Not 2/3, 2/√3. Okay, you can key into the calculator to find out what is this value. Now next we need to find the volume of the dome. Okay, volume of dome. Dome is the part that is generated. The volume is that is generated by this curve when it is rotated 2 pi about the x-axis. So you have. Now let us find the volume of one disc first. This is a disc. Alright. So what is the volume of a disc? Now this little portion here is dx. Alright, and this part is y. Right? Y, that means this value here. Okay. Now, so the volume of this is pi r square h. So pi. What is your radius? Your radius is y. So y square. And the thickness of the disc is dx. That is the volume of a disc, not the dome. But you need to sum up all the discs from 1/√3 to 2/√3. There will be many discs that is generated. Two over root 3. Now what is y square? Y square is 3x square minus 1 over x square dx. Now you can integrate this manually, but the question said correct to 3SF. So you can actually key all this into the calculator and find out the value. Now let's call this 1, equation 1. I mean, the answer to this is 1. The answer to this part, let's call it 2. And the answer to this is 3. So the required volume is equals to 1 plus 2 minus 3. And you should get approximately equals to 1.91 units cube. Okay, for that we have come to the end of this question. Thank you very much and have a nice day.